This is Henry Simon, bringing you another story from my files here at the Missing Persons Bureau.
In these stories of the Missing Persons Bureau, dramatized for Henry Simon by Ross Napier, names and addresses have, for obvious reasons, been changed. In one moment, the search for Andrew Philpott, address unknown. And here again is Henry Simon.
As I have often said in the past, the tracing of missing persons is a fascinating occupation. Every year, countless men and women disappear under widely differing circumstances and for widely different reasons. One way or another, the majority of these people are traced, but quite a number are never seen again. Where do they go? How do they go? Why do they go? Those are the three basic and most pertinent questions which, if they happen to remain unanswered, become synonymous with the classification, address unknown. It was a cool October morning in the year 1952. From my office window, I looked down on the street below. Whitehall, home of the civil servant. At one end, Trafalgar Square, at the other, Big Ben, and lining the pavements on either side, various government offices. Toward the river, the headquarters of the Horse Guards, and further on still, Downing Street itself. Not so different from the Whitehall of 100 years ago, except, of course, that cars have taken the place of carriages, and people are wearing different sort of clothes.
Hey, you're not thinking of jumping out, are you, Chief?
Oh, good morning, Studdy. I was just meditating upon the changes that the past century has wrought on the ancient thoroughfare of Whitehall.
Well, the way it looks, it hasn't changed in 10 centuries. If you ask me, it needs a facelift.
Oh, it has a certain charm about it.
Yeah, well, that kind of charm I can live without.
In that case, I shall close the window. I can see that you're in one of your caustic moods.
Oh, I guess I got out of bed on the wrong side. Did you read that Paxton report by any chance?
Not yet. I'll get around to it this afternoon. I'm expecting a client at any moment. A fellow named Hopkins. He rang for an appointment yesterday.
Anything of note?
It's difficult to say. Kept gabbling on about this and that, going off at tangents, you know. Seems he owns a block of flats, and one of his tenants has disappeared.
Oh, don't tell me he wants us to collect some back rent.
It'd need to be a very considerable sum to make it worth his while coming to us.
Hey, don't you believe it. Some of these landlord characters cheerfully spend a fortune to collect sixpence. I had one chase me from Gravesend to Chalk Farm once, claimed I owed 10p on a gas bill.
Oh, did you pay up?
Yeah, but not before he'd spent a good 10 bob on phone calls and so forth. Then it turned out it was his mistake anyway, so he had to spend another bob or so posting it back.
At least he was honest.
Ah, for 10p he could be Al Capone.
Yes?
There's a Mr. Hopkins here to see you, Mr. Simon.
Oh, fine. Thank you, Pauline. Would you ask him to wait just a moment?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Chief, I'll leave you to it.
There was nothing else we had to discuss, was there?
No, not that I can think of. I'll be in my office if you want me. You won't forget that report now, will you?
No, I shall have finished reading it by 3. Oh, you might tell Pauline to bring in Mr. Hopkins as you go out, will you?
Uh-huh. Hey, it just struck me.
Huh?
If this guy owns a block of flats and he's lost a tenant, he must have a vacancy going. Now put in a word for me, will you? I'm in the market for a flat myself.
He was an elderly man, well in his 60s, with longish grey hair and a tobacco-stained walrus moustache. His front teeth were also stained, and when he smiled he revealed 3 prominent gold fillings, which looked as much a part of him as the teeth themselves. He had a slight squint in his left eye and a receding chin that gave his face a sort of mournful expression. His fawn suit had a rather faded look, and the hat he carried had been in fashion 30 years before.
I'll just rest it here on the desk, if that's all right with you, Mr. Simon.
Certainly.
Wouldn't part with that hat for the world. I've had it since 1925.
It stood the test of time well.
Same as these here shoes, 1933, and I've only had 'em half-soled 4 times.
Remarkable.
Oh, they made good stuff in those days, and no mistake. A far cry from the trash they turn out now. Now take this suit. Believe it or not, there's 20 years' wear there. Bought it the year after I got the shoes. No, I'm a liar. The year before.
Well, that's really
Now, by way of contrast, how long have you had yours?
I beg your pardon?
The suit you've got on, how old is it?
I'm afraid it can't lay claim to any great feat of endurance. Actually, it's quite new.
6 months, a year.
Oh, nearer to 6 months.
There you are. And already it's had to be stitched up around the edges.
Well, not exactly. It's the way I bought it. It's hand-sewn.
Well, there again, there are hands and hands. The hands of today is nowhere near as steady as it used to be. You ask me why, I'll tell you. For one thing...
Yes, well, I think perhaps you'd better tell me some other time, if you don't mind. See, I've got rather a busy morning ahead of me, and, as a matter of fact, I'm rather curious to hear more about this missing tenant you were telling me about on the phone.
Ah, there's a puzzle, if you like it. Fair disappeared, he has. Gone with the wind, so to speak.
I don't believe you happened to mention his name.
Philpot, Andy Philpot.
Philpot. Mm-hmm. Now, I understand you to say that he occupied a flat in a block owned by yourself. Is that right?
Number 4 on the second, directly above mine.
Do you live there as well?
Oh, that I do. Been there 7 years.
And Philpot?
About 10 months. He moved in just after Christmas.
How many other tenants are there?
4. 6 flats altogether, including my own.
And the address is?
54 Syme Avenue, Brixton.
54 Syme Avenue, Brixton. That's fine. Now, when did Philpot disappear exactly?
2 weeks ago tomorrow, September the 28th.
Now, was that when you discovered that he was missing, or the actual date of his disappearance?
The actual date. He was there on the evening of the 27th because we played chess together in his flat. It was a regular thing on weeknights. We'd get together at 8 sharp and play on till round 11.
Every weeknight?
Without a miss. That's how I knew he'd gone. I went up and he wasn't there. In the middle of a game we were, too. I remember he'd just taken my rook and I had his king in check. Well, you can see the board if you like. I've still got the pieces set up.
You would have access to his flat, of course.
Access to all 6 of them.
Now, did he take his things with him, or...
So far as I can see, he didn't take nothing. Not even old Scaramouche.
Old Scaramouche?
His parrot. That's what really has me guessing. He worshipped that flipping bird, he did. For the life of me, I can't see him just going off and leaving it there. It was like a son to him.
Oh, speaking of relatives, has he any family?
Well, I got an idea his mother's still living, and there might be a sister as well. I wouldn't be sure, though. Haven't a clue how you'd go about contacting them.
Ah. Now, you say that all his belongings are still there in the flat?
Just as he left him.
How old would he be, approximately?
Oh, 50-ish.
Did he have a job?
No, he lived on some form of income. Cheque used to arrive for him in the mail, regular each month. Don't ask me who sent it or what it was for, though, because I haven't the foggiest. He just referred to it as his cheque, like anyone else might talk of their wages.
But he didn't work at all?
Not that I know of. He hardly ever left the place, just sat around all day.
Well, perhaps he's met with an accident of some kind. Have you checked with the various hospitals?
Everyone in the book. Nothing.
Have you thought of going to the police?
Well, I did think of it, but, I didn't want any trouble if it could be avoided, and that's why I settled for you.
You realise it's going to cost you money?
Oh, that's all right, I've got it. He was a nice sort of bloke, you know, and, well, this is the least I can do.
Oh, quite. Did he happen to have any other friends at all that you know of?
No, not a one. Never had a visitor all the time he was there, except for me.
And you saw him last on the evening of the 27th?
That's right. We were playing in his flat that week. We take it turnabout.
I see. How did he seem?
Oh, same as always. Well, that is, I didn't notice anything funny about him. We knocked off at the usual time, had a noggin, and I went down to bed.
And it wasn't until the following evening that you discovered that he'd gone?
That's right. I went up there and knocked. When he didn't answer, I went inside. At the time, I thought he must have just gone out somewhere. But when he didn't come back, well, you know how it is. You just go on waiting, putting off doing anything, till before you know it, he's been gone nigh on a fortnight.
Yes, quite. OK, I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll send a man back to the flats with you, and he can have a look round, see if he can unearth any clues.
Well, I've been over it pretty thorough myself, but I suppose it can't hurt.
Fine. Excuse me a moment, will you? I'll send for him.
Yeah.
Pauline, ask Mr. Studdy to come in, will you? And so it was that Studdy accompanied Hopkins back to the latter's block of flats in Syme Avenue, Brixton. It was a pre-war block in reasonable condition, and it consisted of 3 floors with 2 flats on each. Philpot's was on the first. Self-contained, it consisted of a bed-sitting room, bathroom, and kitchen. On the whole, it seemed to be reasonably tidy, except for an unwashed coffee cup on a chair by the window, and an overturned ashtray on the divan.
And this is exactly how you found the place, eh?
I haven't touched a thing. Like I told Mr. Simon, even the chess pieces are as they were when we left off playing. You see, the king's heir in check.
What about the parrot?
Oh, sorry, I forgot. I did touch something. Miss Parker's looking after it. She's the tenant across the way, a retired school teacher. Been here for about 3 years. Oh, that could be her now. She knew I was going in to see Mr. Simon this morning. If I know her, she'll want to know all the details.
Yoo-hoo! Mr. Hopkins, are you in there?
As if you didn't know. All right if I let her in?
Why not?
Well, I can think of plenty of reasons.
Oh, Mr. Hopkins, I heard you come up with the other gentleman. I thought you'd probably be from the missing persons place. Might want to see me, so here I am.
Well, come in, Miss Parker.
Oh, how do you do, Mr. Studdy? So nice to meet you.
You know my name.
No, I happened to overhear Mr. Hopkins call you that as you were coming up the stairs.
You have sharp ears.
Not half as sharp as her nose.
I understand you're taking care of Mr. Philpott's parrot.
That's right, Scaramouche. Would you like to see him?
Later, maybe.
He's such a cute little darling. Talks all the time. They're amazingly intelligent birds, don't you think?
Oh, amazingly. You said a moment ago you thought I might want to see you. Why exactly?
Why? Oh, well, after all, I am, or rather I was, Mr. Philpott's next-door neighbour. So I'd be the first person you'd want to talk to, wouldn't I?
Well, it depends on what you have to tell me. Did you see or hear anything that might have some bearing on his disappearance?
Well, no, not really. But I didn't need to. I'd had my suspicions about what happened to him from the start. Now I'm sure of it.
Sure of what?
He was murdered.
Henry Simon returns to continue this story in just a moment. And here again is Henry Simon.
Delivered as it was, calmly and with absolute conviction, Miss Parker's announcement that Andrew Philpott had been murdered rocked Studdy on his heels. Hopkins, too, stared open-mouthed at the tiny, hawk-faced woman, who, sensing the impression she had made, drew herself up to her full height, and with just the suggestion of a tremor in her voice, repeated the statement.
That's right. I said he was murdered.
She's off an onion. Balmy.
That's a pretty serious allegation, Miss Parker.
Nevertheless, I'm prepared to stand by it.
Uh-huh. And may I ask why you've made no effort to contact the police?
I wanted to wait until I was sure.
I see. Well, suppose you elaborate. Tell us how you arrived at this conclusion.
Oh, I had my suspicions about him all along.
You mean about Philpott?
Yes, ever since I found out about those letters.
What letters?
The letters with the money. The ones he received every month.
Oh, yes. I believe Mr. Hopkins mentioned something about his having a private income.
Income is a polite word to use.
Just what are you inferring?
I'm inferring that Mr. Philpott was a blackmailer, and that the money he received every month was extorted from one of his victims.
Cool, lummy, now I've heard the lot.
Anyone with half an eye could see he wasn't the sort of man to have private means.
It could have come from anywhere, you silly old goose.
Mr. Hopkins, please.
How did you find out about the letters, anyhow? As if I didn't know.
I made it my business to find out about them. To my mind, a man of his age who doesn't work is someone to be watched. He never had any callers. He rarely ever went out. In fact, the only contact he seemed to have with the outside world was those letters. Is it any wonder I became curious about them?
I suppose you steamed one open to find out what was inside.
Precisely. I waited my chance, and sure enough, I happened to be out front one morning when the postman arrived. Mr. Philpott didn't seem to be about, so I took delivery for him. It was registered, of course, but the postman knew me, and he let me sign for it. Then I took it upstairs and steamed it open with the kettle.
And out popped one of Mother Carey's chickens.
There was just a cheque inside, made out to cash. No covering note, nothing but the cheque.
All right, we'll bite. For how much?
£50.
Well, that's all very natty, Miss Parker, but what with blackmail and steaming letters open and so forth, where does murder come into
It
it?
stands to reason. His blackmail victim finally caught up with him.
In other words, the person who'd been sending him the check?
Of course.
And where did he put the body? Down the flipping sink?
There are many ways of disposing of a body, Mr. Hopkins.
I can name one I'd like to dispose of here and now.
But I haven't finished yet. There's more to come.
God help us.
I think the proof of what I've just said lies in the fact that this month's letter hasn't arrived.
Eh?
It was due on the 6th. It is now the 11th. It could have been delayed, of course, but it would seem a little too much of coincidence that it should happen now of all times, particularly as it's never been late before.
You mean to say it used to come on a certain day of the month?
The Thursday of every 4th week, without fail.
And it was due last Thursday, eh?
It was.
So what does that prove?
Just this, Mr. Hopkins. Whoever was sending him those checks knew there was no need to send him one this month, because he wasn't here to receive it. And the only person who could have known that, apart from ourselves, was the man who murdered him.
Oh, but Miss Parker, you can't say a man's been murdered unless you have direct evidence of
If
some
that's
kind
not direct enough, I'd like to know what is.
Well, as Mr. Hopkins pointed out a moment ago, for one thing, you need a body.
No, I've no doubt that will be found in due course. Besides, isn't that what you specialize in? Finding things?
Yes, but live things, not dead ones.
I shouldn't think it makes any difference. But I don't intend to stand here and argue the point. I've done my duty by telling you all I know. I can't do more than that.
No, ma'am.
Now, if you'll excuse me, I'll get back to Scaramouche.
You're excused.
I'll see you later, Mr. Hopkins. Good morning, Mr. Sully.
Yeah, her and that flippin' parrot make a good pair. Neither one of 'em ever stops talking, and they both make as much sense as each other, with the parrot in front by a beak.
Oh, remind me to keep clear of the parrot.
Yeah, all the same, there's something in what she says about that letter not coming.
Yeah. I meant to ask her if she happened to notice the postmark on the one she steamed open.
Well, just open the door. You'll find her out there listening. How do you do, Miss Parker? Lovely day.
Oh, Mr. Hopkins, you frightened the life out of me. I was just...
Just
I was
listening at the keyhole, I know. Mr. Studdy wants to ask you about the postmark on that letter, the one you steamed open.
Oh.
Yes, you didn't make a note of it by any chance?
Oh, dear me, no, I didn't. I was in such a hurry to seal it back up and get it to Mr. Philpott. It didn't occur to
Right,
me.
thank you, Miss Parker. Good morning. Wouldn't you know it? When she gets a big chance to be of some real help, she don't even know what day it is.
Yeah, it's a pity. Whoever's been sending those checks could be the one person who might know something.
Well, why don't we have a look around? Never can tell. Might come across one of the old envelopes.
Yeah, we might at that. Come on, we'll start in these drawers. You take that lot, I'll take this.
Between them, the two men searched Andrew Philpott's flat from top to bottom, going through cupboards, turning out drawers, the pockets of old clothes, and inside 20 minutes they'd unearthed not one but 4 identical envelopes, all bearing registration marks, and all quite obviously from the very same source.
Well, I guess these must be the ones.
Not much doubt of it. He didn't get any other mail that I know of. Nosey'll soon tell us. Hey, Maggie!
Did anyone call?
Come here and look at these. Are they the envelopes the checks come in?
Oh, that's them all right. I'd recognise that writing anywhere.
Yes, well, there's no sender's address, but the postmark's clear enough on these two. Malabar, Norfolk.
Without returning to the office, Studdy went direct from Brixton to Euston Station, where he boarded the 1:30 p.m. train to Norwich, some 25 miles west of Malabar, the position of which he'd been able to check on his pocket atlas. At Norwich, he took another train as far as Denham, completing his journey in a milk wagon, which was travelling through Malabar to Walsingham. The wagon itself had been parked at Denham Station, and in reply to his inquiries, the driver had offered him a lift. An outlying village with a shopping centre that consisted of a single row of stores, a post office, a garage and 2 taverns, Malabar was not exactly the most inspiring town the agent had visited, but it was small, and so far as Studdy was concerned, this was the most important item. Alighting from the wagon in front of the garage, he thanked the driver and then made his way across the street to the post office, which was also a form of news agency.
Hello! Anyone about?
Coming. Afternoon, sir. Just in time. I was about to close up for the day. But you made it, that's the main thing. Now then, what can I be doing for you?
These envelopes, they were all registered and posted from here. I was wondering if you could tell me who sent them.
Huh? Oh. Yeah, let's see now. I'll be needing me specs.
You see, for the past 10 months they've been sent regularly to this address in London at the rate of 1 a month. Presumably, they were posted every fourth Wednesday morning to arrive in London on a Thursday.
Aye, of course.
Do you recognize them?
Emily Donkin's the girl you're after.
The girl?
Aye, old Ma Donkin's daughter. Poor Ma. Too bad about that heart of hers. She's been lingering on for quite a time now. She can't last much longer.
Well, where can I find her, the daughter?
Oh, she lives with Ma. Never found herself a husband. Hard as she tried. Her 35 if she's a day. Still, some of them has to miss out, I suppose.
Are they far from here?
Oh, half a mile down the road. Turn left by the church, and it's the first house on your right.
It was a tiny weatherboard cottage with a blue tin roof which was badly in need of painting, and a front door that was all but swinging loose on its hinges.
Yes? What is it?
I'd like to speak to Miss Donkin, if I may. Miss Emily Donkin?
She went over to the cooper's place to borrow some eggs. She shouldn't be long.
Oh. Do you mind if I wait?
Not at all. Come along in. But be as quiet as you can if you don't mind. My mother's very ill. She's asleep at the moment, but it won't take much to wake her. You sit in the front room.
Ah, thanks. Studdy's the name, by the way. Paul Studdy.
Pleased to meet you, sir. I'm Andy Philpott.
He came out so suddenly that for a moment Studdy wondered why the name sounded so familiar. Then it dawned on him that he was face to face with his quarry. Andy Philpott was no less surprised when Studdy in his turn identified himself as a private inquiry agent who had been retained to locate him, and had come to Malabar on the off chance of gaining some information in this respect. He soon recovered from the shock, however, and a moment later he was explaining the whys and the wherefores of his own presence.
Oh, it's really quite simple. As I said, my mother's ill. Dying, in fact. I'm here because she sent for me.
Sent for you? How?
Emily, she's my stepsister, by the way. She came up to London to collect some special drugs the doctor had prescribed. I came back with her.
Oh, without telling Hopkins or leaving any message to let him know that where you'd gone?
Well, she arrived at the flat after midnight. I knew George would be in bed, probably asleep, so I didn't bother him. Besides, I was pretty shaken by the news of Mother's condition. I just wanted to get here as soon as possible. On top of that, we only had 40 minutes to catch the late train. I would have left a note, but I couldn't find a pencil.
Well, couldn't you have written to him from here?
Oh, I've been meaning to, but what with one thing and another, I just haven't got round to it. I've barely left Mother's side since I arrived.
Ah.
As for the checks, which seem to have captured everyone's imagination, well, they were from Mother. Emily posted them on to me every month. It was a stipulation in my father's will that I should receive £650 a year from the money he left, if Mother married again, which she did. Normally I would have let her keep it, even though she's had more than enough to get by on, but I've got a pretty dicky heart myself. I'm not allowed to work or do anything that requires physical effort, so it's been my only means of support.
Ah. Well, so much for Miss Parker's inspired blackmail theory.
Ah, nosy old bag.
Oh, don't worry. You haven't heard the half of it. She had you murdered by your victim.
Yeah, she's the one who'll be murdered if she doesn't learn to mind her own business.
If not by you, by Hopkins, huh? Oh, she's looking after your parrot, by the way.
I thought she would be. She has a soft spot for him.
Yeah, so I gathered.
Two of a kind, that's what they are. Only difference is, Scaramouche has wings.
Henry Simon returns to conclude this story in just a moment. And here again is Henry Simon.
And so the mystery of Andrew Philpott's disappearance was solved, with no bodies in attendance, no ransom notes, and not one drop of blood. Poor Miss Parker was most put out by the whole thing. Still, I expect she's recovered by now, and is doubtless still delving into everybody's affairs, but her own. And now, this is Henry Simon, inviting you to meet me here again, and for the present, bidding you au revoir. is Henry Simon, bringing you another story from my files here at the Missing Persons Bureau.
In these stories of the Missing Persons Bureau, dramatized for Henry Simon by Ross Napier, names and addresses have, for obvious reasons, been changed. In one moment, the search for Anthony Atwill. Address unknown. And here again is Henry Simon.
There are many attractions for the tourists in London, indeed almost as many attractions as there are tourists, which is something that can be said of no other city, with, of course, the possible exception of Rome. There's Buckingham Palace itself, Clarence House, and the Palace of St. James. There's St. Paul's Cathedral and the Tower of London. There's the Old Bailey, the Law Courts, the British Museum. These to mention only a few. But of all the attractions which London offers, there would surely be none to compare for colour and splendour, for pomp and ceremony, with the changing of the guard. Perhaps the most outstanding feature of this grand old custom is the carriage of the guards themselves. Many is the time I've watched them fascinated, marvelling at their bearing, their capacity to stand at rigid attention, almost without batting an eyelid for hours at a time. Their bearskins or busbies heavy upon their foreheads, their buttons, braid, and boots flashing, be the skies grey or blue. It's a capacity I have yet to see equalled anywhere in the world, and a ceremony that can never be surpassed. Oddly enough, I've been held up in a traffic jam near Buckingham Palace, brought about by the changing of the guard, on the very morning that I was visited here in my office by Sir Robert Atwill, an old friend and fellow club member of mine, whose son I knew to be a member of the Royal Guard, and of whom, needless to say, Sir Robert was extremely proud. He was waiting for me in the outer office when I arrived, and from the look on his face, I knew at once that something was wrong.
Henry, I'm at the end of my tether. You're the one man I know who can help me.
Help you in connection with what?
Oh, my son, Anthony, he's disappeared. Disappeared completely.
I think perhaps you'd best sit down, Robert. Try to relax a little. Perhaps a brandy might help.
Oh, no. I'll be all right. Just a bit upset, you know. It's all come as rather a shock. You've met Anthony, of course?
Yes, a number of times. It must be almost 3 years since I last saw him. Let's see now. I believe it was that day he scored the century for Cambridge against Oxford. Wonderful, not that? I don't recall ever seeing 100 runs put up on that board in quicker time.
Yes, he could have played for England, that boy, if he'd put his mind to it.
Well, there's still time. He's only, 24, 25?
Henry, I don't think you can have heard what I said. I said he's disappeared. Gone.
Yes, I heard you.
Well, then, why talk about cricket? Hang it all, I mean to say.
Because you're quite obviously in a very highly agitated frame of mind. Knowing as well as I do, I realize it's quite useless trying to pry information from you while you're in such a state. Moreover, I'm doing my very best to place the boy in my own mind. Now then, just take things calmly and tell me exactly what's happened. When did he disappear, and how?
It was last week, on a Tuesday afternoon. He was on duty at the palace.
Buckingham Palace?
Yes.
And?
Shortly after 3 o'clock, he was found to be missing from his post.
By whom?
One of the constables on duty, who in turn, of course, reported it to a palace official.
He wasn't seen leaving?
Apparently not.
But surely in that uniform he couldn't very well have walked away without being spotted by someone.
Well, that's exactly what he appears to have done. Not in his uniform. His bare skin and coat were later discovered in a sentry box.
Oh.
And of course, whatever happens, it means the end of his career in the Guards. All probability he'll be court-martialed. Perhaps even put in prison.
But the boy may have suffered some form of mental lapse. He might not have been responsible for his actions.
Responsible or not, he'll be held to account for them. No excuse will be taken into consideration. And even if the court-martial's a mere formality, his dismissal will be automatic.
What steps have been taken so far by his superiors?
Oh, none so far as I know, except that he's been posted as a deserter. The matter's been hushed up as much as possible.
It wouldn't surprise me to learn that the civilian authorities have been alerted to be on the lookout for him. There's so much red tape attached to these things, it's quite impossible to know what course they'd adopt.
Tell me a little about the boy. Was he happy in the Guards?
Well, he appeared to be perfectly happy.
How long has he been in the service?
2.5 years.
And his record?
Thoughtfulness couldn't have been better.
Now, regarding his personal life, has he suffered any kind of emotional upsets of late?
Not that I know of, no. We got himself involved with some girl a few months ago, but I understood that was all over.
Now, what exactly do you mean by involved?
Well, at one point he was talking of getting engaged. I didn't take it seriously, of course, knowing his weakness for falling in and out of love, but even so, I remember it rather shocked me at the time.
Did you meet this girl?
Yes, once. Brought her home.
Were you impressed or otherwise?
Most decidedly unimpressed. Didn't care for her in the least.
Why not?
No, she was showy, for one thing. Oh, intensely attractive. Quite beautiful, in fact. But cheap and rather vulgar. Moreover, she drank far more than was good for her. On this particular occasion, she was 3 parts under.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, not at all the type of girl I'd choose for a daughter-in-law.
Shouldn't visit you a second time.
Well, certainly not. I told Anthony if she ever set foot in the place again, there'd be the devil to pay.
Well, how did he take that?
Quite well, actually. He was rather put out himself at the way she behaved. Still, he said he didn't blame me for reacting as I did.
Did he continue to keep company with her?
He did. He kept it a secret from me. Never spoke of it again.
I see. Has there been anyone since?
Not as far as I know. Which is quite surprising, really. As I said before, this other creature appeared on the scene. He was always forever losing his heart to someone.
When did you last see him before he disappeared?
On the previous Sunday. He was off duty, and we took the opportunity of visiting the grave of his mother, God rest her.
How did he seem then?
Very quiet, subdued. In the circumstances, that was natural enough. I was the same way myself. Yeah, poor Vera. I don't think either of us have ever been the same since she died.
Must be 5 years ago now.
Almost 7. Anthony was just 18 at the time.
Have you been seeing much of him lately?
Oh, not a great deal. 2 or 3 times a month, perhaps, no more.
Relations were in no way strained between you?
Oh, not unless he was harboring a secret grudge regarding me disapproval of Felicia.
Felicia?
Yes, that was her name, Felicia Howarth.
Oh, I see. You haven't thought of checking with her at all, I suppose?
I've been so upset I haven't thought of checking with anyone. Even so, she's the last person I'd approach.
How long have they been keeping company when you met her?
2 months, perhaps not that long. But, they seem to be placing a great deal of importance on what, to my mind, was a relatively trivial affair.
Well, perhaps. It's just that in 9 cases out of 10 of this character, there's always a woman involved.
Oh, come, Henry. Surely you don't have guardsmen disappearing every other day.
The fact that Anthony's a guardsman has no bearing at all on my thoughts at the moment. I'm thinking of him simply as a young man who has, as you yourself said, a very definite susceptibility for the opposite sex.
Hang it all, man, at his age I was much the same.
Not quite.
Eh?
If I recall correctly, at his age, you were married.
Well, I was fortunate enough to meet the right woman.
Exactly. Therein lies the difference. From what you tell me, Anthony has met the wrong one. Following Sir Robert's departure, I sent for Agent Paul Studdy, with whom I discussed the case in detail. As it happened, Studdy was also working on 2 other cases at the same time, both of them, curiously enough, involving young men in roughly the same age group as Anthony Atwill. It was, therefore, only to be expected that he should be very reluctant to take on a third.
Oh, I tell you, Chief, I'm so fed up with these young bloods and their tragic affairs, I feel like jumping off London Bridge.
Well, there's no guarantee whatever that Atwill's disappearance is connected in any sort of way with a love affair. But the indications are certainly present.
You know, I've always wanted to see one of those characters do something crazy.
What characters?
Those bearskin guys, the way they stand there like marble statues. A spaceship from Mars could land right at their feet and they wouldn't turn a hair. I've often been tempted to try tickling one in the ribs.
I wouldn't advise it if I were you. You have to find yourself behind bars very smartly.
That's why I said I'd have liked to have seen this happen. The guy suddenly whip off his coat and top knot, chuck him in the sentry box, and stroll off.
I dare say quite a number of people would have liked to have seen that happen. Fact remains, of course, that no one did. No one we know of, at any rate.
Yeah, I guess he'll really have the book thrown at him when he finally turns up.
Yes, indeed. Very large book at that.
Those boys even get punished for fainting on parade, let alone strolling off and leaving the palace unattended.
Well, not unattended exactly, but less attended than usual. Yes, I imagine he's in for quite a rap over the knuckles, whatever his excuse may be. But for the moment, of course, that's quite beside the point. Our job is to find him regardless. And I think that our best bet is to set the ball rolling by checking with this Howarth girl.
Uh-huh. Who is she exactly?
Well, from what I gather, she comes from quite a prominent family. Her father's a member of Parliament. Her mother's apparently quite closely related to a baronet.
Sounds like she might be a bit of a throwback.
Well, from Sir Robert's description of her, it does indeed. He doesn't know the family at all himself, but he knows of them. And he's heard from a reasonably reliable source that they've broken off all relations with her.
Yeah. Where does she hang out? Any idea?
He seemed to think she had a flat somewhere in Sloane Square, so I checked it in the phone book and, let's see. Oh, yes, here we are. Howarth. Miss Felicia A., 6 Aldershot Mansions, Grover Road. It was a pre-war block, not very far from Sloane Square Station. Taking a lift to the second floor, Studdy made his way along a narrow carpeted passage to a door marked 6 at the far end. In all, he knocked 4 times and was just preparing to retrace his footsteps back along the passage when the door opened and he found himself confronted by a slim young woman in a flame-colored bathrobe. Her dark hair was wet and hung limply at her shoulders. Her feet were bare, and she wore no makeup. Yet there could be no doubting that she was an uncommonly beautiful girl, despite the look of annoyance which clouded her features.
Every time I take a bath, I can count on someone arriving in the middle of it.
Pardon me, it wasn't planned.
Who are you? What do you want?
Well, the name is Studdy. I'm from the Missing Persons Bureau. If you're Felicia Howarth, I want that we should have a few brief minutes of chat.
About what?
Well, a friend of yours, Anthony Atwell.
Oh. Well, in that case, you'd better come in.
Thanks.
Well? What about Anthony?
Seen him around lately?
Not for a week or so. Why?
Because he's missing.
You don't tell me.
Uh-huh. Any idea where he might be?
Not the slightest. But when you find him, you might contact my solicitors.
Uh-huh. Why?
Because I intend suing him, that's why.
Suing him? For what?
Assault.
Henry Simon returns to continue this story in just a moment. And here again is Henry Simon.
Somewhat taken aback, Studdy stared hard at the young woman, who met his gaze unflinchingly, running a carefully manicured hand through her limp hair as she did so, the corners of her mouth registering faint amusement at the agent's obvious surprise.
You look a little shocked, Mr. Studdy.
That's putting it mildly. Assault's a pretty serious charge.
No more serious than the damage he might have done me if he hadn't been stopped when he was.
Stopped by who?
Harry Gordon, a friend of mine. We were walking along the street minding our own business when suddenly Anthony appeared in front of us. He called me a filthy name, then knocked me down. I fell on the pavement and skinned my elbow. It all happened so quickly it was over before I'd had time to draw breath. Then when Harry turned to grab him, he ran away.
Now, when was this?
Last week. Swelling in my jaw's almost gone numb. But you should have seen it a few days ago.
Uh-huh. What day last week?
The Tuesday afternoon, around 3 o'clock.
And, that's when he was found missing from his post.
Well, he wasn't in uniform. Just the trousers and the boots.
Whereabouts did it happen?
In the mall. About halfway along.
Going towards the palace or away from it?
Away from it. We were actually coming from Victoria.
Uh-huh. So you did pass the palace?
Yes.
Did you happen to see Atwell on guard?
Well, I wasn't looking for him.
Obviously, he saw you.
Well, the next time he sees me, it'll be in court.
You and he were pretty chummy at one stage, weren't you?
We went out a bit together, yes.
When was the last time?
Oh, 2, perhaps 3 weeks ago.
Were you seeing each other regularly before that?
Every day.
Now, according to his father, he broke things off with you a couple of months back.
That old fogey wouldn't know what year it was.
You weren't engaged to be married by any chance?
Why do you ask that?
Just curious.
Well, as a matter of fact, we were. We kept it quiet from the old boy, but I was wearing his ring for over 3 months.
Up till the time he beat you up?
I'd taken it off a week or so before.
Why?
Oh, he began to bore me. I decided I didn't want to get married after all.
And you returned the ring?
No, I hadn't got around to it.
But you had broken the engagement.
Oh, more or less. It was sort of up in the air.
And meanwhile, you were going around with this Harry Gordon, huh?
Harry and 1 or 2 others. I always did enjoy variety.
I guess you realize you probably wrecked Atwell's life.
Oh, you're breaking my heart.
Well, I guess that's something anyway.
What?
I was beginning to wonder if you had one.
It transpired that prior to his taking an interest in Miss Howarth, Harry Gordon had been a friend of our quarry's for many years, and was known to Sir Robert as quite a decent and reliable young man. This description was duly found to be apt enough when Studdy visited Gordon in his Curzon Street apartment that same evening. Tall and well-built, with wavy fair hair, he proved to be both friendly and polite.
Please, Mr. Studdy, when you speak of my association with Felicia, I'd be obliged if you do so in the past tense. I haven't seen her since the day of the trouble with Anthony, and I have no intention of contacting her again.
Yeah. How long were you keeping company?
Oh, a few weeks.
While she was still engaged to Atwell?
I knew nothing about that. She took care not to let me see any ring.
But you knew she was going steady with him.
Oh, vaguely, yes. But, well, I got tangled up with her without quite realizing it.
Now it's all over, eh?
Completely.
Because of the trouble with Atwell?
Oh, that really showed her up in her true light.
I'd kind of like to hear your version of that story. What happened exactly?
Well, I'd arranged to meet her at a pub over in Victoria around 2. When I got there, she was tight, and she insisted on having a few more drinks.
Yeah.
Well, then she suggested we walk back to town to give her a chance to sober up. I didn't know what a game was then, but I soon found out. You see, we had to go past Buckingham Palace, and Anthony was standing guard at the front gate. Well, she must have known he was there, because she made a point of going right by him. Well, directly I spotted him, I tried to get her away, and that's when she turned on her act. She suddenly grabbed hold of me and started kissing me right in front of him. Well, apart from anything else, I've never been so embarrassed.
Yeah.
I just grabbed her by the arm, propelled her across the street, and set off along the mall as fast as I could walk. Well, by this time, she was laughing and singing at the top of her voice. I tried to hail a cab, but there wasn't a vacant one to be had. Well, we must have been about 100 yards along from St. James's Palace, when suddenly Anthony bore down on us. His face was white with rage, and he was trembling all over. He said he was going to take her home, but the moment he touched her arm, she started spitting like a wildcat. Then she tried to kick him, lost her balance, and fell in the gutter. Well, for a second or two, he just stood there, looking down at her, and she was screaming and swearing at him for all she was worth. Then he turned on his heel and walked away. The last I saw of him, he was heading across the park, and that's when I finally managed to get a cab. So I bundled her in and told the cabbie where to drop her. And that's the whole story.
Yeah. According to her, Atwell knocked her down. She says she intends to sue.
Just let her try. I'll be the first to get up and tell the court what really happened.
You know, I don't get the point of it. Why would she want to pull a stunt like that?
I wouldn't know. Frankly, at the time, I think she was too drunk to know herself.
Yeah. Well, if it was her intention to ruin the guy, she did a mighty fine job. Even as things stand, he's in one heck of a mess. But when this gets out, he'll be finished for good.
Returning to the office, Studdy reported his progress. if such it could be called. In reality, we were no further advanced than we had been before. Indeed, we were a good deal worse off, because we'd exhausted our only leads and had nothing at all to show for them. In view of this, we had no option except to push the case to one side in favor of other, more fruitful investigations. It was purely a temporary shelving in the absence of pertinent information, but it was difficult for me to explain this to Sir Robert, who appeared to be of the belief that we were abandoning the search altogether. As it happened, the case was opened abruptly some 2 days later, when, shortly before 5 in the afternoon, Studdy received a phone call.
Yes, Missing Persons Bureau, Studdy speaking.
Felicia Howard here, Mr. Studdy.
Oh? And to what do I owe this doubtful honor?
Would you come over right away?
Over where?
To my flat.
Why?
Because I'm scared. When I got home earlier, the caretaker told me a man phoned this morning wanting to know where I was. Apparently, he'd rung my flat and couldn't get an answer.
So?
He wouldn't leave his name, said he'd call back.
Uh-huh.
Well, I'd only been in about 20 minutes. The phone rang, I answered it, and the line went dead. There was someone at the other end, I know that. They hung up in my ear. I think it was Anthony, Mr. Studdy, checking to see if I was home. I think he's on his way here now.
So you want me to come over and protect you, huh, in case he gets violent?
I phoned Harry Gordon, but he wouldn't come, the low-down swine. It's all his fault anyway. He's to blame for the whole thing. And he has the height to say he hopes Anthony wrings my neck.
The big bad wolf. Now open up or I'll huff and I'll puff.
Just a moment. Oh, Mr. Studdy, I'm so glad you've come. I've been sitting here waiting, scared sick. There's no one I can turn to now, only you.
If you're the wronged party in this deal, as you claim, how come you're so squeamish?
I've been thinking things over. He's quite mad. He must be. When you came here before, there was something I didn't tell you.
I figured there might be.
When he found out about Harry, we had a dreadful scene. He told me if he ever caught us together, he'd kill me.
This was before the other business?
The previous evening.
Yet you deliberately went out of your way to let him see you crawling all over the guy in public.
I've been stewing about it. I had too much to drink. I didn't know what I was doing. I just wanted to show him I wasn't bothered by his threats, that I'd do as I chose.
You're bothered plenty now.
Wouldn't you be if you were in my shoes?
Beautiful. If I was in your shoes, I'd cut off my feet.
Oh, please, Mr. Studdy, don't joke. I'm telling you, he's out of his mind.
Well, he hasn't shown up yet. Maybe he's not.
That'll be him now.
Soon see. Well, hi, Gordon.
Harry, what are you doing here?
You invited me, remember?
You said you wouldn't come.
That was 2 hours ago. I've had time to change my mind.
You look pretty shaken. Something wrong?
After Felicia phoned me, I rang Sir Robert and told him about the mysterious phone calls she'd received. I thought he might like to know in case Anthony did show up.
Yeah?
It wasn't Anthony who rang. It was the old chap himself. He wanted to ask her if she'd heard anything, but when he heard her voice on the other end of the line, he couldn't bring himself to talk to her. So he hung up.
You mean it was that old fool all the time?
That's right. He phoned this morning, and you weren't in, so he spoke to the caretaker. Then he called back this afternoon.
And to think I've been worrying myself silly.
You've a lot more than that to worry about.
What do you mean?
It came over the radio, not half an hour ago.
Over the radio?
A news bulletin. At 3:20 this afternoon, the body of a man was pulled out of the river. It was estimated by a police doctor that he'd been in the water for at least a week. He carried no identification, but it didn't take them long to trace him. The clothes he was wearing, the boots, part of a uniform.
Oh, no.
The uniform of the Royal Guard.
Henry Simon returns to conclude this story in just a moment. And here again is Henry Simon.
The body of Anthony Atwill was formally identified by his father, and at the subsequent coroner's inquest, in the absence of proof to the contrary, a verdict of accidental death was recorded. It is not known just when Anthony Atwill died, but it is presumed that he entered the river within a matter of hours following his encounter with Felicia Howarth and Harry Gordon. A tragic fate for a young man with so promising a future, and brought about solely by the vicious spite of the woman he loved. And now, this is Henry Simon, as always, inviting you to meet me here again, and for the present, bidding you au revoir.
This is Henry Simon bringing you another story from my files here at the Missing Persons Bureau.
In these stories of the Missing Persons Bureau, dramatized for Henry Simon, names and addresses have, for obvious reasons, been changed. The Colgate Show, Address Unknown, is brought to you by the makers of Colgate Dental Cream, Colgate Toothbrushes, Colgate Shampoo, Colgate Beauty Soap, Colgate Hairspray, and Colgate Talc.
In one moment, the search for Charles Denton. Address unknown.
And here again is Henry Simon.
In times of war and international unrest, there are obviously a great number of disappearances and unaccounted for deaths. In such times, too, even though Britain herself may not be directly involved in the conflict in question, a large number of British subjects find themselves caught up in the action. When this happens, it's not unnatural for the Missing Persons Bureau to play a part in attempting to solve one or more of the disappearance mysteries. I remember at the time of the French troubles with Algeria, we had a caller to the Bureau, a most attractive young lady named Lillian Wentworth. She came directly to the point of her visit.
My fiancé, Mr. Simon, Charles Denton, he seems to be missing. I've tried the police, even checked all the hospitals and nursing homes I could think of. There isn't any trace of him. I'm coming to you almost as a last resort.
Well, a great many people do, Miss Wentworth. We have a surprisingly successful record in locating missing persons. Now, let's have some details, please. Your fiancé's age, physical description.
Charles is 31. He's about 5'10", and average weight, what would that be, about 150?
That's close enough. Colouring?
Dark brown hair, almost black, really. Blue eyes, rather dark complexion, very suntanned. Charles spends quite a lot of time on the Riviera and mooning around the Mediterranean on his yacht.
Oh, he's wealthy, then.
Well, rather comfortably well off, I'd say. Not rich in the usual sense. But he never seems to want for ready cash.
I see. And his occupation?
He's a writer.
Oh, I wondered why the name rang a bell. He writes those Secret Service agent books, doesn't he? What's the name? Greg something?
Greg Carson.
Yes,
that's the one. Charles says it brings him in quite a lot of money. I know he's published mainly in paperbacks, but there does seem to be quite a market for thrillers like that.
There must be, yes. Just about every bookstore or station newsstand displays dozens of books of that type. You say he moons around the Mediterranean quite a lot. Just how much would that be?
Oh, for weeks, sometimes even months at a time. He does most of his writing on his yacht. He says you can't find peace like that in any other way. He's probably quite right. Oh, the times I've been aboard Lady Susan have been wonderful. Nobody to bother you, just the sea and the ports of call when you feel like company. I wish I could live like that all the time.
I should think all the time would become a bit much, Miss Wentworth. Times like that take on an added flavor when they're not overindulged in, if you pardon the split infinitive.
You could very well be right, Mr. Simon.
Now, back to your fiancé. If, as you say, he's always away for weeks or even months at a time, how can you be sure that he's missing? Couldn't this just be one of those extended periods?
No. No, Charles has a thing about keeping appointments and never being late. He was supposed to have seen his agent and his publisher 2 days ago, right here in London. But he simply never turned up.
Their names?
Desmond Wright is the publisher. Trigon Books. You've heard of him?
Yes, indeed. The Three Triangles trademark.
Yes, that's the one. And Malcolm Bennett is his agent. He only handles a dozen or so clients, but that seems to be the way he prefers it. Needless to say, that dozen comprises only best-selling authors.
I see. Now, exactly when last did you see your fiancé?
It was Thursday of last week. He said he'd only be away for 3 or 4 days, but now it's a full week. There's no sign of Charles.
Do you know where he went?
Yes, he went to Paris. He stayed in his flat there. Number 14, Rue Petier in Montmartre.
14 Rue Petier, Montmartre. Good. You're sure of that, Miss Wentworth? Sure that he did go to Paris?
Yes, quite sure. He telephoned me on Thursday night and again on the Friday.
Excellent. And his address here in London?
27 Maxton House, Dawes Avenue, Kensington. Oh, that's his home base, really. It's a lovely flat.
Now, is there anyone there at the moment?
I shouldn't think so. He has a woman who comes in every morning to do the cleaning chores and dusting. Sometimes she cooks for him, too.
And her name?
Mrs. Kreppel.
Kreppel. She's not there this afternoon, then?
No, she always leaves at about 1 o'clock.
Pity. You wouldn't happen to have a key to the flat, would you?
Yes, I do have. Charles gave me one some months ago. But why should you need one, Mr. Simon?
Well, the agent I'll assign to the case will probably like to have a look round there. It'd be easier, and I'm sure a lot more comforting to your peace of mind, if you were there when he did so.
Oh, I see. Yes, well, that would be fine. Is there anything else, Mr. Simon?
Not that I can think of at the moment. If you just leave me your address and telephone number, I think that'll take care of everything. Oh, and I shouldn't worry too much about all this, Miss Wentworth. In most cases involving missing persons, there's usually a very banal and innocuous explanation.
You said in most cases, Mr. Simon. That's what's worrying me. Perhaps Charles is one of those that isn't.
I wasn't unduly worried about Charles Denton's disappearance. Despite Lillian Wentworth's assurance that he was one of that rare breed of personalities who are never late for an appointment, the fact that Denton was a writer seemed to cancel out the virtues, in my mind at any rate. As a whole, writers are not the most dependable of people, and this could well have been an occasion when Denton decided to stay away on his own instead of returning to London for the appointment with his agent and publisher. I said as much to Agent Luke Parker when I briefed him on the assignment. Parker grinned and blew smoke up at the ceiling.
Don't look now, Chief, but you're being kind of bigoted.
Bigoted? Me?
Sure.
In what way, may I ask?
Maligning the whole race of writers on account of maybe you happen to have met up with a couple who weren't all that much on the responsible side. What happens? To shove the whole mass of them into the same category? Oh, why, Chief, some of my best friends are writers.
How enlightening. Nonetheless, Parker, we shall take Miss Wentworth's belief in her fiancé's dependability with just a pinch or two of salt. I think it might be an idea if you went round to Denton's agent this afternoon, found out what he thinks of his client's passion for punctuality. It may turn out that Lillian Wentworth has a rose-colored view of her fiancé.
Sure, will do. Got his address?
It's in the phone book.
Thanks.
If you get no joy there, you might try his publisher. Then, if necessary, Miss Wentworth will let you into Denton's flat. But save that until you have to, Parker. She seems to be the type that protects individual privacy with a passion that borders on the overpowering. When I suggested that you may want to look round Denton's flat, her eyebrows nearly hit the ceiling with disapproval.
Okay, message received and understood. Handle the lady with kid gloves, right?
It may pay you to do so, yes.
Anything else, Chief?
It's now 2:14. You have a busy afternoon ahead of you, Parker. I suggest that you get weaving. Parker telephoned Denton's agent, Malcolm Bennett, and arranged to call round at his office within the hour. When Parker arrived, he found a smoothly running machine that digested authors' words and then regurgitated them in the direction of the most profitable publisher. The office was neat, modern, and functional, and Parker was shown directly into Malcolm Bennett's private sanctuary. Bennett himself was smooth, affable, but for some reason best known to Parker, he irritated. There was a measure of pompousness to the man that had no trouble in making Parker's hackles rise.
Charles, of course, is one of our middleweight writers, you know. Churns out the words like sausages, and most of the time they don't need much in the way of revision or polishing. Mainly paperback sales for Greg Carson, usual market stuff. Not one of the really best-selling chappies we have in the stable, but better than the bottom rung fellows. The sort that write one good book for every 5 or 6. No better than mediocre. Dependable, yes, on the whole I'd say he was.
And the fact that he didn't show up for your appointment was out of character for him.
Well, yes, to a degree. Nothing to worry about.
Why not?
Well, you don't know writers, old man. A week in Paris could lead to a month, even a couple of months on the tear.
Uh-huh. You know, something's been puzzling me. I've read a couple of Greg Carson's books. They're pretty good. But the bit I don't get is how come the author knows so much about the insides of the Secret Service and about the other side of things, the gun running and the underworld bit. It's almost as though the writing was being done from personal experience. Any truth in that?
Personal experience? Oh, you mean was Charles ever mixed up in the intelligence outfit himself?
Well, something like that.
Perish the thought, old man. Nothing more than a lively imagination, that's all.
You're sure of that?
Oh, positive, old man. Absolutely positive.
Parker tried without success to get hold of Denton's publisher, Desmond Wright, and the trail had abruptly worn a trifle thin. He decided to take a look round Denton's flat, and accordingly contacted Lillian Wentworth and arranged to meet her at Maxton House at 5:30. She arrived on time and unlocked the front door.
Go ahead, Mr. Parker. Although I must admit I fail to see the point of your snooping around here.
Snooping? Oh, I wouldn't call it that, Miss Wentworth. Just seeing if maybe we can find something to lead us to the missing person. And that's what you want, ain't it?
But of course that's what I want. What an absurd question to ask.
Just checking, ma'am, just checking. Man's got to get his facts right, and that's a fact.
Well, what particularly did you want to see?
Don't know for certain, ma'am. Maybe I'll just mosey around and see where my nose leads me. Real nice-looking pad the man's got. Expensive.
I told Mr. Simon that Charles doesn't generally want for money.
Looks like it. Those paintings must have cost a pretty penny. And real high-class Persian carpets. Good taste the man's got. Particularly in his choice of women, ma'am. And that's meant as a compliment in case you weren't too sure.
I'm sorry, Mr. Parker. You just caught me on the wrong foot. I'm not usually the snappish and ill-tempered with people I've only just met.
No offense, ma'am, no offense. Hey, quite a stack of mail over on this table. This where it's usually left by the cleaning woman?
Yes. Mrs. Kreppel is a very methodical woman. If the mail were left anywhere except where it should be, she'd feel it some sort of sacrilege has been committed.
Yeah. Man gets mail from all over the world. Must do a lot of letter writing himself to get replies like this. Mr. Charles Denton, Esquire, Hong Kong, Melbourne, Cape Town.
He uses a secretarial service when he needs that sort of thing. Just dictates replies. Doesn't bother about sitting down and writing anything involved.
Hey, this is kind of funny.
Well, what is?
2 letters here. To Mark Damon. This address. Who's he?
I don't know. I've never heard the name before.
I wonder. Yeah. Maybe it could stack up at that. It just maybe could.
What could, Mr. Parker?
You say your fiancé left London last Thursday and headed for Paris. You also say he phoned you on the Thursday night and the Friday night. The call came through the Paris telephone exchange, Miss Wentworth.
Well, of course they did. What are you getting at?
Well, just this, ma'am. I checked with the people at Customs and Immigration. They double-checked with the passport office. And you know what? Last Thursday, they had nobody named Charles Denton leaving the country.
Henry Simon returns to continue this story in just a moment. You are listening to The Colgate Show, Address Unknown. And here again is Henry Simon.
Parker kept a close watch on Lillian Wentworth's face as he said the words. He half hoped for a telltale flicker of something to show in her eyes, something that could very well give him a lead to our missing person. But there was nothing. A puzzled frown creased her forehead, and she stared hard at Parker. She seemed more annoyed than evasive.
He didn't leave the country.
Not according to the records, no, ma'am.
Well, there's some mistake.
That figures.
But I didn't understand it. I spoke to Charles on both Thursday and Friday, and there were calls from Paris. Well, what's this all about?
Maybe this gives us part of the answer. The letter's here, addressed to Mark Damon. Not care of Charles Denton or anything like that, just the name and the address. This address.
You think Charles was using a different name?
Could be. One sure way of checking, though, we call the passport office and find out whether or not a guy using this name hightailed it across to Paris last Thursday. And if that's so, ma'am, I ain't gonna buy no story about coincidence. That's it, Chief. The records show that Charles Denton left and returned to this country 3 or 4 times in the last 5 years. But Lillian Wentworth tells me he's been and gone at least 10 times during the same time.
And the man who calls himself Mark Damon?
Yeah, funny, ain't it? He's been away 6 or 7 times. Add the 2 and you come up with the right answer.
So Charles Denton occasionally uses a fake name and a fake passport, I might add, for his trips abroad. Which adds up to something a trifle on the odd side, I'd say.
It stinks.
Quite so. Any theories, Parker?
Nothing that comes up with anything solid. Just a whole mess of theories and ideas that could fit the facts, but they don't happen to have any proof lying around to back them up.
And Lillian Wentworth? Has she any ideas?
None. Far as she's concerned, her boy Charles is pure as the driven snow. And this double passport jazz don't make any kind of sense to her.
You sound as though you believed her.
Yep, sure do. I threw a high curve, and when I hit her with the dope about Denton not leaving the country, I hoped maybe she'd react, and I was watching her like 3 hawks. But no soap, Chief. It didn't mean a thing to her. And you know the way I am with phonies, I smell them from miles away. Not so with Lillian. She's on the level, but somebody else might not be.
Who?
Malcolm Bennett.
Denton's agent? What makes you think so?
I don't know. Nothing he said, nothing he didn't say, but I didn't like the way he said it. Too glib, too smooth, too much like he was trying to lead me away from where I was heading.
Anything in particular?
Just one. In one breath, he told me Denton was a reliable cat, real dependable. And the next, the fact that Denton didn't show up for the appointment meant nothing at all. Just the way writers behave and forget about it.
Interesting. What now, Parker?
Paris. I checked with our client and she okayed it. That's where Denton was, so that's where we pick up the trail, okay?
His flat. How do you get in?
Easy. Lillian Wentworth had a key for that one, too. This one. Any more questions?
On your way, Parker. On your way. Parker flew to France early the following morning. A cab from Orly Airport took him to Paris and dropped him in the sector of Montmartre where Charles Denton maintained a second flat. It was a 3rd-floor walk-up, and from the exterior seemed to be nothing prepossessing. Then Parker unlocked the front door and received a 2-part surprise. The interior of the flat was furnished in a style matching that of the London residence, luxurious, tasteful, and expensive. It would have been impressive were it not for the second part of the surprise. It looked as though the place had been hit by a cyclone.
Holy cow, will you look at that? Somebody's turned this place over but good, and whatever they were looking for, they sure didn't find. If they did, at least some of the place would still be tidy. But they went through it from top to bottom. Pillows ripped open, drawers pulled out, every scrap of paper in sight given a close inspection. Yeah, whoever was responsible for this little search sure knew what he was doing. But what were they looking for? That's the jackpot question. Doesn't seem to be anybody here. Let's check the bedroom. No, Same sort of scene in here. Mattress ripped apart, wardrobe contents thrown all over the place, more drawers dumped on the floor. And no sign of Denton, which is maybe the most encouraging thing about it. If there was any sign of him, he'd probably be his dead body. Heck, now what do we do now? No other leads to follow here in Paris. No way of telling where Denton may have headed. Looks like you had a free airplane ride, Parker, and got nothing for it. But where do you go for honey now?
You! Do not move. Stay where you are.
Oh, come on in, buddy. The ward is fine.
Keep your mouth shut. Speak only when I demand an answer.
Funny thing, pal. You're real persuasive, or could it be that gun in your hand that makes you so appealing?
It would be to your advantage to do as I say, my friend. And I want you to speak. Speak, but not in any other circumstances. Understood?
Yeah.
Now, who are you? What are you doing in this apartment?
Looking for the owner. My name's Parker.
For whom do you work?
Missing Persons Bureau.
What? Are you attempting to mock me? I would advise against such foolishness.
You asked who I work for, I told you, no gag.
I do not believe you. For what reason are you in Denton's flat? You did not break in, therefore you had the key. From where did you obtain it?
Well, how do you know I didn't break in?
This apartment has been under observation for several days now. We expected one of Denton's associates to arrive, and we were not wrong, were we?
Very wrong, pal. I have never seen Denton before in my life.
You think we are fools? Turn around.
What for?
Turn on.
Okay, buddy. That's the way you want it. A blow crunched down sickeningly on the back of Parker's neck, and the room exploded in his eyes like Guy Fawkes gone mad. He had no idea how long he was unconscious, but as he slowly and painfully began to grope towards the surface again, he was aware of the faint, lingering aroma of ether. Obviously, he'd been kept unconscious by an anesthetic for some time. The pounding in his head diminished slowly, and gradually his eyes began to focus. He found himself lying on a camp stretcher in a barren-looking room. A man stood casually against the single barred window, watching him. Parker lifted his head and saw the man who had knocked him unconscious sitting on a chair, the gun still in his hand.
Oh, brother. Welcome back to the land of the living, old man. Who are you? Name's Denton. Charles Denton. I gather you were looking for me.
You have to knock me out to get me here?
I'm sorry, old man. I wasn't responsible for that. Chum Rene here was. He has a passion for violence. Caters to the animal in his nature.
Shut up.
Oh, did I offend you? I didn't mention what kind of animal.
You keep that filthy mouth of yours shut or I'll...
You know what, old man? Kill me. Your bosses wouldn't like that. Not until they get their grubby little paws on the money. Yes? Watch yourself, Rene.
When we have made you talk, then I have you, Denton. This I will enjoy.
Look, will somebody please tell me what the heck is going on here?
A pleasure, old man. For some time now, I've been employed as a kind of unofficial courier, bringing money and sundry other little oddments to Paris from London. All of it has gone to the organization that employs friend Rene here. Oh, allow me to introduce, by the way. The full name's Rene Ducat, but the surname's doubtful. Rene's the sort of chap who didn't have a father.
You shut your mouth.
The organization does rather nasty things, like supplying arms and explosives to the Algerian terrorists, plastic bombs for maiming the women and children. You know the kind of thing.
And you've been helping them?
Up to a point.
For money?
Actually, no. For information. The people I'm connected with here were rather keen on finding out who the London contact is, so they had me infiltrate this organization. It all went rather smoothly, until now.
What stopped it?
I didn't deliver the last package. You know what it contained, old man? Enough uncut heroin to bring in a large-sized fortune.
Why didn't you deliver it?
To ruffle things up a bit. Set the cat among the pigeons sort of thing. If things look really bad, perhaps they'll send over their London contact to get things right again.
You know who he is?
We have an idea. It's a question of getting proof, you see.
Yeah, I'm beginning to.
Sounds like we are getting company.
You stay there, Denton. Move once and I shoot off your kneecap. You will be alive, but in great pain.
Oh, charming. You'd love that, wouldn't you, little piece of garbage?
Shut your face. I will not warn you again.
Oh, bless my soul. If it isn't Uncle Puss in Boots himself. Hello, Malcolm, old soul. Welcome to the party.
You've been rather silly, haven't you, old man?
Depends on your point of view, Malcolm. I don't think so.
Oh, well. Where's the parcel?
I am sorry. Classified information, don't you know?
We'll find it sooner or later. You will tell us eventually.
Hey, Dent, where does he come into all this?
My agent? He's the boy my superior suspected, so they had to plant me on him. I don't know who wrote all these words about Comrade Greg Carson, but it certainly wasn't me. It was enough, though, to look authentic. And now everything's worked out just beautifully. Use your head, Bennett. Pack it in now.
You seem to forget who's in control here. René has the gun.
Of course. But who does he point it at? Me. That leaves Parker uncovered.
What are you talking about?
Now you don't know where to point it to, you chum.
You stay where you are.
You've got to leave one of us out in the open, haven't you? But which one?
Denton.
That's the...
Get him!
No, you're not going anywhere, old man.
Nice going, pal.
Thank you.
That was one sweet right cross.
Yes, I'm sure Bennett appreciated it. We couldn't have him walking out on us, could we?
No, wouldn't have been at all polite.
Thanks for the help, old man. Whoever said Anglo-American relationships were deteriorating?
Henry Simon returns to conclude this story in just a moment. You are listening to The Colgate Show, Address Unknown. And here again is Henry Simon.
Luke Parker had found himself in the thick of a deadly game involving gun runners, drug addicts, and terrorists. But his quick thinking in diving for the man with the gun had saved what could have been a highly unfortunate situation. And the organization that employed Charles Denton? I'm afraid we cannot divulge information of that nature. The Official Secrets Act, you know. And now, as always, this is Henry Simon inviting you to meet me here again, and for the present, bidding you au revoir.
The Colgate Show, Address Unknown, is brought to you every Saturday by the makers of Colgate Dental Cream, Colgate Toothbrushes, Colgate Shampoo, Colgate Hairspray, and Colgate Talc. Listen again next Saturday evening at 7:30 when Henry Simon will introduce another story in the gripping and unusual series, The Colgate Show, Address Unknown. Listen on Monday morning at 9:15 to our next episode of The Reverend Matthew, a story of people, love, scandals, jealousies, ambitions, laughter, tears, and human conflicts.
In one moment, the search for Gwen Moxon. Address unknown. Address Unknown, brought to you by Colgate-Palmolive, makers of Colgate Dental Cream, Palmolive Shaving Cream, Ajax the Foaming Cleanser,
and Super Fab with Wonder White. And here again is Henry Simon.
One of the strangest cases the Missing Persons Bureau ever handled started one afternoon in March 57. At the time, it was thought the winter was over, but a sudden cold snap brought out the gloves, the overcoats, and mufflers. It so happened I wasn't busy on the afternoon in question, so I was able to see a client who hadn't made an appointment, who'd suddenly turned up at my office. What's that? Moxon? Yes, all right, send him in. My secretary ushered Clifford Moxon through the door and left him standing there just inside the room. He was small, about 50, dapper, and his eyes were very bright and alert. Peeping out from behind his turned-up raincoat collar, I could see a blue and white striped shirt with a collar of plain white.
Good afternoon.
Oh, come in, Mr. Moxon, come in. Come and sit down.
Thank you. I've been trying to make up my mind for days whether to come and see you or not.
And here you are.
Yes.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Your hands are cold. Let me pull this heater a little closer to your chair. Here we are.
Thank you, Mr. Simon.
I didn't realize it was so cold. Now then, how can I help you?
Actually, I've been putting this thing off for far too long, now that I think about it. It's 4 months now. 4 long months. My wife, Gwen, suddenly left me. I've been hoping she'd come back, but she hasn't. I want her back. She'd been threatening to leave me for years, and finally she went. I want to settle our differences, a reconciliation. She's an impossible woman, but I find I can't live without her.
Has she contacted you since she left?
Not a word.
I see. What was the date of your wife's departure from home?
November it was, the 26th.
She's never indulged in this sort of thing before?
No, never. But she threatened to divorce me.
Oh, on what grounds?
Purely imaginary ones. I'm afraid my wife's very neurotic. Convinced I was carrying on with other women. She was always accusing me of it.
Oh, go on, Mr. Moxon.
She suffers terribly from anxiety and depression, out of all proportion.
Oh, dear. She sounds like a very troubled woman.
I'm very worried about her, Mr. Simon.
Yes, I'm sure you are. But tell me, why did you leave it so long before seeking help?
Well, I told you I hoped she might return. I've tried to find her, but eventually I realized, after turning the problem over and over in my mind, that I didn't have a chance of finding her without professional assistance.
You've tried your wife's family?
Oh, Gwen was an only child and her parents are dead.
Other relatives?
No, there's none. I think that accounts for some of her insecurity.
Did your wife work?
She had a job, but it became too much for her, so she said. I think she lost interest. No, she stayed at home.
And her friends?
My wife kept herself very much to herself, Mr. Simon. She had no liking for or trust in anyone.
What about Mammy? What's she keeping herself on?
Well, perhaps she's gone back to teaching.
A teacher? When she talked of leaving you on previous occasions, did she ever say where she'd go?
No.
And on this occasion, had you quarreled?
Oh, yes. Very badly, I'm afraid. She was sulking with me when I went to work. I returned home in the evening, and she'd gone.
Taking her things with her?
Clothing and possessions, the lot.
What about your neighbors? Did one of them see her leaving, perhaps?
Well, I haven't been able to find anyone who saw her.
I see. What's your address, Mr. Moxon?
Paddington. Craven Hill, number 129.
Paddington.
I brought this.
Thank you. Mrs. Moxon?
Yes. A very good photograph, really. You'll let me have it back, won't you?
Of course. After we found her for you.
Thank you.
Where can we contact you during the day?
Smithfield Meat Market, United Distributors. I'm a foreman checker in the cooling sheds.
After Clifford Moxon's departure, I tried to contact Agent Bob Hunter, but he was away in Scotland busy on another case. I'd no alternative but to recall Agent Paul's study from his holiday, which I reluctantly did.
A bit of a come-down Madeira to Smithfield Meat Market.
Still upset?
Wouldn't you be? But forget it. I can go back when the job's finished. Now, come on, let's recap.
Well, that won't take long, I'm afraid. The only concrete lead we've got is the photograph.
Moxon must be nuts wanting a dame like this back again.
She looks all right.
Yeah, but you can't judge a book by its cover.
How right you are.
Now, the thing I'd plumb for is the teaching angle. If that's what she knows, maybe she's taking it up again now that she has to support herself.
Well, I'll handle that for you. The education authorities and the teachers' union.
Now, watch yourself, Chief. Teachers are usually miss, you know. Maybe she's using her maiden name.
Now, I'll get that from Moxon. You know, he said that during his own checking, he hadn't come across a neighbor who saw her leaving. What do you think?
Well, did he try them all?
He didn't say.
Well, I'll go take a look-see. Perhaps Mr. Moxon used the wrong approach.
Craven Hill, Paddington, is the extension of Praed Street. The houses are in long four-story terraces, divided up into flats. Study checked first at 127 and 131, the houses on either side of Moxon's residence. The occupants had seen and heard nothing. Study decided to try 129, question the other tenants. Alan Brett was an out-of-work actor with rooms in the basement.
Sorry the place is such a mess. Haven't been up long. Couldn't face traipsing round the agents this morning. I'm going to call at the Labour Exchange after lunch. Get my card stamped.
That's okay. Don't apologize.
Oh, sit down. If you can find somewhere to sit. Oh, just let me move the frying pan.
No.
There.
Thanks.
Now then, the Moxons.
That's right. You know Mrs. Moxon has left her husband.
I thought as much. Been some months now, hasn't it?
That's right. November last year. Did you see her leave?
No, I didn't, actually. But from all accounts, she was a real so-and-so. Gave the old chap a rough time. Poor devil.
Did you know her?
No, never met her. Used to hear them quarrelling, though. Terrible din. Then she waltzed out, and it's been quiet ever since. You don't mean to say Moxon wants her back?
Well, that's a general idea. That's why we're looking for her.
He must be balmy. Doesn't know when he's well off.
Yeah. Love's a funny thing. You say you never met her?
That's right. Not that I'm sorry. Never introduced, that's all. Never had occasion to be.
But you saw her?
Oh, yes. Coming and going. I can see them all from this window here.
Okay, Mr. Brett, I'll be shoving off.
Sorry I wasn't able to be of more help.
That's okay. Just have to try somewhere else. But I don't know where. What about the other people in the house?
I shouldn't think they'll be able to tell you any more than I have. You see, they haven't been here long before Mrs. Moxon left him.
Oh? How long?
Few days, that's all.
Well, just long enough for people to notice what a vixen she was, huh?
Well, you know how nosy some people are. Actually, I got the whole story from Mrs. Cowie on the 3rd. An old busybody, if ever there was one.
I suppose everybody's glad Mrs. Moxon went.
Well, it's a lot quieter, and we feel the old boy is better without her.
I see. Well, I guess I'll gallop up to the 3rd floor and see this Mrs. Cowie. Thanks, Mr. Brett.
Pleasure. Oh, if you hear of any stage work, you might remember me.
Well, we don't mix very much in theatrical circles, but from time to time we find ourselves confronted with some pantomimes.
Study consulted Mrs. Cowie and learnt nothing more than Alan Brett had already told him. He was very despondent when he returned to my office. Something else to add to your worries. I checked with Mr. Moxon about his wife's maiden name and in turn checked the education people. She's not working as a teacher and hasn't done so for about 5 years.
You think it's worth trying the Moxon's old address?
You haven't got much choice, have you? It's a natural follow-up.
Can I use your phone, Chief? Phone Moxon?
I wouldn't do that if I were you. He's probably not in the office. He wasn't when I phoned. They had to fetch him from the sheds. Go over there. You've got time. Smithfield Market, the site of the famous Bartholomew Fair, is today a great meat exchange serving the whole of the British Isles. One of the biggest agencies is United Distributors. Study had no difficulty in finding them, but then he had to find our client. Study wended his way among meat carcasses, porters, refrigerated trucks, and eventually found Mr. Moxon supervising the checking of a large consignment of meat which had arrived from Australia. In a large cooling shed it was.
Even colder in here than outside, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a good job I brought my overcoat. How do you work in here?
Oh, this is nothing. It's even worse in the cold storage. 32 degrees of frost. But fortunately, we don't work in there very often. Now then, Mr. Study, any luck?
Not yet, I'm afraid. The reason I came to see you was to ask you for your old address, the place you lived before you moved to Paddington.
Oh, I don't see how that'll help.
Well, I thought maybe some of your old neighbors have seen her recently.
No, I'm afraid not. We were in Earl's Court before, but I've been there myself. No one's seen her.
Oh, dear. Another cul-de-sac, huh?
What will you do now?
Well, frankly, Mr. Moxon, I don't know. I just don't know.
And I don't know either. There's just nowhere to turn.
Well, she's got to be somewhere.
I checked with the passport office while you were out. She doesn't have a passport, so she can't have left the country.
That figures. Not enough money.
I wonder, what if she's suffering from amnesia?
Great, that's all we need. A neurotic woman who's lost her memory.
If you follow this up, you know what it means, don't you?
Yeah, blisters. Hospitals, sanatoria.
It wouldn't take long on the phone. I'll get one of the girls to do it.
And if we draw a blank?
Oh, just a minute. About Mrs. Moxon. It's just occurred to me that she may be suffering from amnesia. May have been found wandering somewhere. Check with the police and the health authorities, will you? All right. What were you saying just now?
I asked what would we do if we drew a blank there.
Well, we have no other leads to follow. We'll have to resort to advertising, at Mr. Moxon's expense, of course.
Personal columns of the national papers?
That's right. My secretary's queries to the police and hospitals did draw a blank. So, without further ado, I drew up an advertisement which was inserted in the major daily newspapers. During the 5 days which elapsed, Study checked everything, not once but many times. We were sitting in my office looking very dejected, Study complaining about the holiday he'd abandoned.
And here I am, cold and frustrated. Nothing to show for more than a week's work. If that's another client, tell him we're closed for the season.
I have a Mrs. Wells on the line. She says it's in connection with your advertisement about Mrs. Moxon.
Put her through. An answer to our advert. Mrs. Wells mean anything to you?
Not a thing.
You're through?
Hello, Mr. Simon.
Speaking.
I gather that you're looking for Mrs. Gwen Moxon.
Yes.
Who engaged you to look for her?
Her husband.
I see.
Do you know where she is?
I'm afraid not, but I think I should explain who I am. The Moxons consulted me, at least Mrs. Moxon did. I'm a psychologist, specializing in marriage guidance.
Yes, I understand their marriage wasn't particularly happy, but I fail to see why it was Mrs. Moxon who came to you. Wasn't it the other way about? Wasn't she the trouble?
Far from it, Mr. Simon. Far from it.
Henry Simon returns to continue the story in just a moment. You are listening to Address Unknown, presented by Colgate-Palmolive.
I wondered what on earth was coming next. I thought for a moment that Mrs. Wells and I were talking at cross purposes, but she went on to explain.
Mrs. Moxon came to the Marriage Guidance Bureau. Oh, it'll be nearly 5 months ago. She was terribly upset when she came to see me. She explained how she and her husband quarreled all the time. Told me what they quarreled about. There were all sorts of things. Mr. Moxon went on spending sprees far beyond his means. He was given to outbursts of temper. He lost interest in his job and his wife, and he had delusions that people were persecuting him. As you can imagine, all these things led to a very unhappy state of affairs in the Moxons' marriage. Mrs. Moxon was very wise in coming to see us. She took the right step.
This is very disturbing, Mrs. Wells, because when Mr. Moxon came to see me, he gave me the impression that his wife was all those things. Please go on.
I managed to get Mrs. Moxon's husband along to see me. He was very reluctant to come, and he made it clear that he thought my counseling was a waste of time. But I realized that Mr. Moxon was very disturbed mentally.
Neurotic?
I'm afraid not. Something far more serious. He's a psychotic.
I don't know much about this sort of thing, but isn't psychosis a severe form of mental illness?
Yes, it is. And unfortunately, even the families of psychotic sufferers don't always recognize the signs of the illness until something serious has happened. What brought about Mrs. Moxon's visit to us was the fact that her husband had refused to eat any food that she prepared.
Good gracious, why was that?
He accused her of trying to poison him. It was then that she realized there was something radically wrong.
What happened as a result of Moxon's visit to you?
Well, from my consultation, I knew that Clifford Moxon was in need of psychiatric help. I referred him to a psychiatrist who was a specialist in the field of marriage guidance. I think you'd better contact him.
Yes, I think we'd better. Where are his rooms?
200A Baker Street. And his name is Dr. Adams.
Mrs. Wells, I'm very grateful to you. Shall we let you know what transpires?
No, that won't be necessary, Mr. Simon. Dr. Adams will do that. It's lucky I saw your advertisement.
It is indeed. Study raised his eyebrows questioningly at me, so I told him the whole story. It was a strange turn of events, and it was to get much stranger. Study hurried along to Baker Street, having made an appointment to see Dr. Adams.
Oh, what's all this about, Mr. Study?
Well, that's what I'm hoping to hear from you. What can you tell me about Clifford Moxon?
Do you know where he is?
Yes, but I'm looking for his wife. He asked the Missing Persons Bureau to find her. She left him 4 months ago in November last year.
You're sure you know where he is?
Well, sure, I'm sure. What gives with Moxon? Is he sick?
He's very sick. He's a case of paranoid schizophrenia.
He's what?
It's a form of psychosis, Mr. Study. Very involved. Suffice it to say that Clifford Moxon had some very unhappy childhood experiences. And it's only now that Clifford Moxon has to face the fact that he's approaching old age, losing his vigor and so on, that his childhood difficulties have taken their toll.
I see. But if what you say is true, and I'm sure it is, how come Moxon told us that his wife's sick?
Mr. Study, Moxon's case is very complicated. So complicated that I started an analysis. A lengthy business which involves digging into the patient's subconscious mind to bring the real causes of his neurosis to the surface, and in this way rid himself of the damage. Analysis can be called an attempt, a major attempt to reconstruct the patient's personality and patterns of behavior. Moxon came to see me only 3 times. He was negative.
Negative?
Yes, that's to say he resisted the analysis, took some of his hatreds and animosities out on me. That's not unusual. In fact, it's a necessary part of the analysis. However, not wishing to get too technical, suffice it to say that I found Moxon lacking in conscience, honesty, and a sense of responsibility. Where's he working now?
At Smithfield Market.
Doing what?
Well, he's a foreman checker in the sheds.
Oh, dear. He hasn't worked there long. Do you know that?
No, I didn't. What did he do before, and when did he change his job?
Moxon was the manager of a branch of Shental supermarkets, not far from Gloucester Road. He lost interest. That's in keeping with his illness. And he left Shental's at the same time they moved from Earl's Court. I lost track of them then. I did my best to find them, realizing that Moxon was possibly a psychopath, capable of committing antisocial and even criminal acts. I realized that Moxon's condition was too severe for me to handle once a week at 50-minute sessions on my couch. Just before I lost track of the Moxons, I suggested to Moxon himself that he should become a voluntary inpatient at a sanatorium, where he would have received more intensive treatment and where he'd be unable to get into mischief.
And what happened when you suggested that?
He ran away, and I haven't seen either him or his wife since.
Well, there's no wonder Mrs. Moxon left him. She's probably terrified of him.
Yes, she probably is.
Well, what do you mean by that, and where are you going?
With you. Just let me get into my coat. There, come on.
Do you mind telling me where we're going?
You know where Moxon is, right?
Right.
Well, he has to be taken to a place of safety, and you and I are going to do it.
But what about Mrs. Moxon?
At the moment, she's of secondary importance. Perhaps once she hears that her husband can't do her any harm, she'll come out of hiding.
Hey, now, wait a minute, Doc. If I turn up there with you, Moxon will know that I know the truth.
Oh, yes. That's right.
Oh, but I can handle him.
I hope you realize what you're up against. I'd better come anyway. I'll keep out of sight until he's been apprehended.
And so it was the 2 men set off for Smithfield Market. It was getting on for 5 o'clock, and Studdy was worrying about the fact that Moxon may have already left work for home. He fretted about the rush hour traffic which was holding them up. On the way, Dr. Adams mentioned another symptom of mental illness, compulsion.
It's an action that a person is driven to perform again and again. It may be something like washing his hands all the time.
Yeah, go on.
If a neurotic person is prevented from carrying out his particular compulsive act, this leads to discomfort. In serious cases, the discomfort may border on panic, even tears and extreme agitation.
Well, I'm getting pretty agitated myself about this traffic, but it's not compulsion.
Eventually, having crossed the heart of the city, Studdy and Dr. Adams arrived outside United Distributors at Smithfield Market. The place was practically deserted. Studdy inquired at the office for Moxon, and again he was directed to the cooling sheds. Adams accompanied Studdy part of the way, and then, as they'd planned, he let Studdy go on alone while he himself kept out of sight.
43, 44, 45, 46,
Mr. Moxon.
47, 48, 49, 50. 50, yes? Oh, hello, Mr. Studdy. Any luck?
Yes, I think we're getting somewhere.
Oh, good.
You seem to feel the cold pretty badly. What's the matter? You got poor circulation in your hands?
No. Habit, I suppose?
Yeah, I suppose so. Or compulsion.
What's that?
I said you should keep your gloves on. Have you finished here?
Yes, just about to pack up.
You feel like taking a little ride?
Where to?
Oh, just back to the office. Mr. Simon wants to see you.
What about?
Well, we're not having much progress in finding your wife, Mr. Moxon.
Well, now you've told me, there's not much point in my going to the office, is there?
Well, aren't you upset about us not being able to find your wife?
I'm sure you've done your best, Mr. Stubby.
Now, that doesn't answer my question, and stop doing that.
What are you doing? Let go my hands.
Why, Mr. Moxon? Does it bother you, me holding your hands like this?
Let me go.
Oh, no, you don't. You just want to rub them together again, don't you?
Please let go my hands. You're hurting me, do you hear? You're hurting me. Please, you must let me go.
Or else what? You're coming with me, Mr. Moxon.
No, please don't take me away. I can't go. I've got to look after Gwen.
What do you mean by that?
My wife, you fool! My wife needs me!
Oh, where is she? Dr. Adams! Dr. Adams!
What on earth's happened?
It's all right, I've got him. Look, I'm not hurting him.
Listen to me, Moxon. We're taking you away to a nice place.
Now, wait a minute, Dr. Adams. I've got a feeling we're about to hear a confession.
A confession?
Yeah. Ask him about his wife. Go on, ask him where she is.
Listen, Moxon. Where's Gwen?
Gwen?
Yes. Where is she?
Gwen? Where's Gwenny? In the shop. Mind the cornflakes.
Oh, Clifford, why did you stop going to see Dr. Adams?
Because he's a fool.
But he wants to help you. He's the only man who can help you. Won't you go and see him again?
No, shut up!
Please, Clifford. I love you. I want to see you well again.
Well, me? It's you! You're sick, not me. And stop going on about it. Leave me alone.
Don't shout, Clifford. What will the other men say?
There's nobody else here. You're sick, Gwen. Dr. Adams can't help you. Why don't you go to sleep?
What on earth are you talking about? Clifford, what are you doing with that meat cleaver? No, Clifford, no! Please, please, don't!
Where is she, Clifford?
Sleeping.
Yes, but where?
Cold. Bitterly cold. 32 degrees of frost.
Oh, no. Dear heaven, no.
Do you know what he means?
Yes, I'm afraid I do. 32 degrees of frost. He mentioned that the last time I came here to see him. I think we'll find Mrs. Moxon in cold storage.
Henry Simon returns to conclude the story in just a moment. You are listening to Address Unknown, brought to you by Colgate-Palmolive, makers of Colgate Dental Cream, Palmolive Soap, Ajax the Foaming Cleanser, and Super Fab with Wonder White. And here again is Henry Simon.
As I told you, it was one of the strangest cases we've ever handled. Between them, Studdy and Dr. Adams led Moxon away. They returned later with the police. The great cold storage chamber was opened up, and the body of Gwen Moxon was found buried in the ice on the floor. That was where Clifford Moxon's compulsion came from. His hands were cold from digging in the ice. He felt compelled to chafe them together to warm himself. He was so disturbed and convinced that his wife couldn't be found that, compulsively, he consulted us. And now, as always, this is Henry Simon inviting you to meet me here again, and, for the present, bidding you au revoir.
Colgate-Palmolive invites you to listen next Friday evening at 8 o'clock when Henry Simon will introduce another story in their gripping and unusual series, Address Unknown.